Good fella. That's my boy. Look what I've got for you. You'll love this.
The knight as you takes an interest in me. I'm honored that God be with you.
Yeah.
is it?
Is something the matter? I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
Tanner, I've heard all's not well with you.
It's better now. I must have eaten something bad.
No, I mean you've complained about some ruffians raising hell behind your house.
Aye, true enough. That lot's been a thorn in my side. And when I went to tell them to take it elsewhere, they nearly beat me to a pulp.
When are they there?
Nearly every evening. Every god-forsaken evening. Shouting and bellowing there till nightfall. And then they leave. Probably to get drunk. Herd of wild boar in rutting season. How would I know? Aye, they knocked the stuffing right out of me.
And nobody does a thing about it?
I've been to the bailiff, but he couldn't give a rat's arse. There's no commotion under his window, so what does he care?
That's quite a bailiff you've got.
A scarecrow would keep better order.
If you want, I'll take care of them.
Well, you look like you could move mountains, but there are several of them and just one of you.
Perhaps we'll be able to settle things peacefully.
Maybe. They might think twice before kicking your arse.
Perhaps I can reason with them. It doesn't have to come to blows.
Well, break a leg, lad. Or better yet, don't. But if you manage to pull it off, you'll get your reward. Don't worry. Good luck to you. What the hell was that? Mother of God! Out.
You too, you bastard! I've already told you what really happened.
So we all saw it wrong. What really happened then?
I knocked him down, and he pulled me down on top of him. I slammed him with my hip, not my arse.
What are you doing here?
Nothing special. Just a little evening wrestling. It's good for your back and digestion.
And your purse too, if you know your business.
Don't fight.
I'm looking for work, and I've heard someone around here wants fearless men. Do you know anything about it?
I've heard they might be looking for a new knacker. So if you're not afraid of carcasses and the occasional pile of shite.
Thanks, but no thanks. Word has it someone's hiring mercenaries and other fighters.
Ah, well, you've heard more than I.
If I wanted to join in, what would I have to do?
It's pretty simple. First you have to beat Weed. He's that not too dangerous looking fella there. But some nights, he gets a good rest and he's got God on his side. Then you can try one of those three. Doesn't matter which. And if you whip all three, you can test your mettle against me. Fair enough?
So the last match is with you?
That's right. They say a bout with me is no joke. Just bad humours.
The tanner sent me. He says you've been causing a commotion at night, and I thought I might convince you to stop.
Ha! So all his whining finally found a friendly ear, did it? Let me tell you something first, whelp. I'm the bailiff's man, and we're not doing anything wrong here. Old Lederman's only been whining like that since he lost a bit of silver. Didn't bother him before that.
He told me different.
Ha! Of course he did. Otherwise no one would help him. Go ahead and ask the lads. They'll tell you the same. It's God's honest truth.
I'll take you at your word. But what should I do now?
The way I see it, you've got two choices. Screw that old liar and leave him be, or get down to business.
What do you mean, get down to business?
Well, you may think you're pretty tough, and if you give us all a thrashing, we might think it over. But then again, we're no strangers to a hard fight.
If I break your arm, then you won't be coming here for a while, will you?
But I'm a fair fellow, so I'll make you an offer. If you enter our tournament and win, which means beating us all, then we'll go elsewhere. If you don't win, then you're flat out of luck and have to leave. That's not so bad, is it?
I want to fight you.
What did I tell you? First beat Weed and those three clowns, and then I'll have time for you. Got it? Take care now.
I want to get better at fist fighting.
Certainly.
I'd like to hone my skills.
First you have to have some skills to hone.
Well, I'll think it up.
God be with you.
I'm honored that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
I heard that someone was looking for men willing to do anything. Do you know anything about that?
No, but I'm always the last to hear of anything like that. I'll ask Punch. He'd know.
I heard you gave him quite a beating.
It's his own damn fault.
Really? He just came to tell you to go elsewhere.
That's what he told you. Bollocks! He came of his own accord. It was him started the fuss, after he'd lost all his money.
He really tried to have a go. I wouldn't think he'd have it in him.
He tried, but he didn't have much luck. He doesn't pack a punch. But landing it in the right place, ha! I'm not surprised he's got no children.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Good luck to you. I'm over here. Well landed. Ah! Damn! Mrtka! Bugger! Way off.
I didn't sit on any fucking time.
Given up already.
I knocked him down, and he pulled me down on top of him. I slammed him with my hip, not my arse.
I just don't know. Looked to me like you had his nose right between your nether cheeks.
You little piece of shit. You want to have a go?
I'm honored that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
I heard that someone's looking for men willing to do anything. Do you know anything about that?
Willing to do anything? Meaning what? Something filthy like helping the knacker? I wouldn't know. Go and ask someone else.
That's not what I meant, but all right. What happened with the tanner?
Nothing out of the ordinary. He came to test his mettle like everyone, but he couldn't even get past young Weed. Then he started whining about getting his money back because we tricked him, so we threw him out. He came back a few times after that complaining about all the shouting and ordered us to bugger off elsewhere.
But you didn't.
No. And when he got really annoying, he got a punch in the mouth, and he hasn't been back since. Doesn't dare to...
Let's fight.
That wasn't bad, but now we'll take it up a notch.
God be with you.
All right, now you're...
Jesus Christ be praised.
I've heard that someone's looking for men willing to do anything.
If I knew you better, I might tell you. But as things stand,
What went on with the
when things got lively, I wasn't here.
Let's fight.
That wasn't bad. Take care now.
God!
I am at your service.
I heard someone was looking...
Maybe. I work in the quarry, and they're always looking for...
That's not what I meant, but thanks. Why did you throw...
Because he came by one day, lost his money, and then started on about how we cheated him and ought to give him back his coin. He was a right pest. Well, that's sort of true. But he didn't start complaining until he lost his money.
Let's fight.
You look pretty good. But I'm betting it was just luck.
We'll see.
Take care now. God damn!
Damn it! Alarm!
Anyone?
Help!
Now. Bring it on.
I want to fight you.
You put on quite a show. Can't say. God be with you. Please, anyone there? Fucker! Come and get it!
Look what I've got for you. You'll love this.
Hey, you! Don't move a muscle! Hey, you! Halt! Surrender!
What's going on there?
You're under arrest for breaking the law! You can't go around hurting animals that don't belong to you. There are penalties for damaging other people's property, understand? And that
The
won't be
answer
the
to
last
my
of it,
prayer,
Sunshine.
just when I
You'll
want
have a lot
pencil
more to
ring
answer
on
for.
someone.
This definitely won't come cheap. You'll learn crime doesn't pay.
Just my luck. Look, I can't tell you anymore. The fate of...
My heart bleeds.
Damn it. Here's your coin then.
All right, just make sure it doesn't happen again.
There's something over there?
Look here, lads. I hope I won't be seeing you around here again. Go and find some other place for your games.
All right. We'll go. But if you want to fight again, you're always welcome. I bet you'll come off worse next time.
That was pretty good. I didn't think you had it in you.
You were really good. I've got to hand it to you. Most lads don't make it past me. So listen, I want to tell you something.
What's that?
There are people here, looking for really tough men, and I'd say you fit the bill. So when you walk through town this evening, if there's a light in the church, go in and wait a while. If they like the looks of you, they might give you some work.
Thanks. I'll think about it.
Good luck to you.
God watch. Oh. Good luck then.
To me.
Good fella. That's my boy. Look what I've got. You'll love this.
Goodbye.
I'm honoured that a knight... Are there any problems around here?
Nothing I've heard about. Thank
What's he doing here?
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'd like to order something here.
So what are you interested in?
Get myself fixed up a bit. Have a bath and get my clothes washed.
I'm sure you'll be extremely satisfied. Sure.
Cabbage! Cabbage! Salami!
Pig turns willingly for the slaughter. Stop the deli! Ah!
Enough! Please, I yield! Get the hell out of here. Go!
feel quite hungry. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Amen.
What?
So, you've been looking for us, eh? What is it you want?
I hear you're hiring men who don't mind getting their hands dirty.
Is that so? And where did you hear that?
Taverns and the like. People talk.
Well, that's a pretty tale. But no one in any tavern told you to come here and wait, did they? So let's have it. Who told you?
The bailiff's man told me about you. The one who runs the fight club in the quarry.
Did he now? Well, I hope you trounced him. Bastard took my money at dice.
If you want, I can give him a proper hiding, just to show you I'm serious.
Spare me the boasting. I've got a test ready for you. Let's see how you handle it before you tell us how wonderful you are.
What test?
Nothing complicated. We used to take anyone who looked like they could keep their head on straight, but not now. Now you can only join if you do what we tell you.
Which is what? Steal something?
Nah, not theft. If you want to join us, you have to kill Pius.
Who's Pius, and why should I kill him?
That's none of your business. But I'll tell you anyway, because it's an instructive tale. Pius was one of us, but he fucked up.
How? Did he steal something?
Yeah, that was part of it. Stole some money, ran away. A few boys died over it. Showed a distinct lack of loyalty. And as soon as he's dead, you can join us.
I'll have to find him first.
You don't need to find him. We know where he is.
Then why haven't you killed him yourselves?
It's quite a test. He's hiding in a monastery.
With the stable boys? It's not hard to get into the grounds.
No, not there. Well, he would have been dead long since. He's in the, cloister, or whatever it is.
But only monks can get in there.
Just monks and pious. He's an educated bastard. Seems he used to be a priest, but it didn't quite work out.
And do you have any other test?
We're not hiring stable boys. We want men who are prepared to do anything. And this is the toughest task we've got.
So how many men have you already sent?
Just a handful.
And what happened to them? Did they hang?
Just the first one. The others turned tail. Guess they didn't have the stomach for it.
Murder someone in a monastery? Have you gone mad?
Murder's a sin as it is. Doesn't really matter where you do it.
Yes, it does. I'd be spilling blood on hallowed ground.
Well then, knock him senseless, drag him outside, and finish him off where it's less sacred. I don't give a damn where you do it, just as long as he ends up dead.
And how am I supposed to get into the cloister?
You'll think of something. Maybe there's a secret passage. I've heard there's some cave underneath. The cave of St. Procopius. There might be a way into it from outside.
And do you have any other ideas besides secret passages?
Well, there is this one fellow been hanging around the taverns. Supposed to join the monastery soon. Might be he could help you somehow. I'd try talking to him if I were you. And if he doesn't help, knock him on his ass and take anything he's got that you could use to pass yourself off as him. A letter of admittance to the monastery, or whatever.
How will I recognize Pius?
He won't have been there long. He should be the only new one there.
But what if there are others? What does he look like?
Normal. He always went about well dressed and had a fine looking dagger.
Yes, except he'll be given a robe and they'll take his knife.
Then you'll have to try and figure out which one of the novices it is, and get him to betray himself. Try getting him drunk. Then send him straight to hell.
Get him drunk? In a monastery?
We're better. There's more wine there than in the royal cellars. And I doubt he suddenly stopped drinking.
Fine. So I've got to kill Pius. He's in the cloister, and to get into the cloister, I'll need to enlist the help of some boy who's joining the order, right?
More or less. And now the main thing.
The main thing is to kill him, isn't it?
Of course. But that's not all. All hell's gonna break loose in the monastery after the murder. So, either make sure nobody finds him, or hightail it out of there quick as soon as the job's done. But better if they don't find him right away.
And what else? Should I come back here afterwards?
No. Before you run for it, take his special dice and bring it as proof that you killed him. And if you can get him to tell you where he hid the coin, bring that as well.
Bring his dice and the money if I find it. And where should I bring it?
From the monastery, head east across the river. There'll be a swamp where you'll find a fire pit. Go there at night and light a fire. Make it nice and big and we'll show up. Take the dice and the money, and then tell you where to report. Got it?
Right, I'm to slip into the best guarded place in the entire region and kill someone. Take his dice and money, and then go to the swamp and wait by the fire.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, you can at least say a few Hail Marys for me. I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
And remember, we'll be keeping tabs. So don't you try to run off, alright? See you later.
The back teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope I can be of... Sure.
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No.
I'd like a beer.
Sure.
I'd like a beer.
My respects to you.
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No.
Pour me one.
Good luck to you.
I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No.
There. Satisfied?
Take care now.
Coming.
God save you. What can I do for you?
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No.
All the best.
Take care now.
What? I'd like something to... Are you volunteering to get your head smashed in?
Coming.
calm down. I don't want any trouble.
Then get lost. Cheers.
Got it for you right
One
here.
out, please.
All right. Here we are.
Let me have some grub. Whatever's quick.
I'm honored that you should come to me.
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No.
May the Lord watch over you.
Coming.
I'm honored that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No. May the Lord watch over you.
Put me in there.
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No. God be with you.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
You wouldn't be Carl by...
No.
Take care now. Take care now.
God bless you. What troubles you?
Sir, this investigation into the Neuhof massacre... It's getting a bit complicated.
What have you found out?
I tracked down a gang of robbers who recruited killers for Pribyslavitz. They know the Horsons who torched Neuhof.
That's excellent news. Did you find out any more?
So far, not much. If I'm going to infiltrate them, I have to do what they say. That means murdering one of their former cronies, a fellow they call Pius. Apparently he was at Neuhof too.
You have to kill a criminal to prove yourself to them? Huh. I don't much like the sound of it.
That's not the worst of it. This Pius is hiding out in the monastery pretending to be a novice. I'd have to get inside the cloisters to get at him.
Good God above, that's another matter entirely. They don't let just anyone into the cloisters, and the abbot won't give up any of the novices. Secular law has no jurisdiction inside the monastery. But this is the second time that something untoward has happened there. First the counterfeiters, now this. I'd be glad to have someone take a look inside.
What should I do with Pius once I find him?
Don't kill him. Bring him to the bailiff in Rattay. He'll interrogate the man and give him a fair trial.
It doesn't sound like an easy task, sir. Getting into the cloisters, finding Pius, and then getting him to the bailiff.
Far from it, lad. But I have confidence in your abilities.
It seems like the only way to find Pius is to join the order. Damned if I know how, though.
A bit of meditation and learning would do you good. If it's really the only way to get to him, then you'll have to do it. I'm sorry I can't be of much help. Sadly, my relations with the monastery aren't entirely congenial. You'll have to figure something out for yourself. Farewell.
That's a good boy. That's my boy. There's the good dog. That's my boy. Look what I've got. You'll love them. Look what I've got. You'll love this. Look what I've got for you. You'll love it.
crawling out under some rock.
I'm honored that you should come to me.
Are there any problems around here I might be able to help with?
Nothing I've heard about. Thank the good Lord. It's quiet here. May the Lord watch over you.
God save you.
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No.
God be with you.
God be with you. God be with you.
Are you Carl by any chance?
I am? Why do you ask?
I've heard that you're bound for the monastery.
Yes, it's true. But I've convinced my faithful guardian, Manfred, to give me a few more days of freedom. Mind you, he won't let me visit the brothel, so instead I'm devoting those days to the demon drink. With whom do I have the honor of speaking?
My name is Henry.
Pleased to meet you, Henry.
Could we speak in private? I have some issues with the monastery.
Really? Well, I'd love to talk about it, but we won't have privacy as long as Manfred here has his head permanently stuck up my arse.
Get rid of him for me, please.
Take care now.
I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
You're Manfred, the young lord's guardian?
Indeed I am. Why?
Would you let us have a word in private for a moment?
I would not. If I put my guard down for a second, you'll be gone. I have to keep my eye on.
You must have a mighty thirst. Waiting here with him for days, just watching him get drunk, and not having a sip yourself.
There's no doubt I'd enjoy a drink. Heaven knows I deserve it. But if I dull my senses in the slightest, that rogue will surely get up to mischief.
So let's drink together. And if you start to feel unwell, I'll keep an eye on him. Like you said, you deserve some fun.
I can see you're a reliable lad. So what shall we have to drink? And while we're at it, why not have a little game?
Good luck.
Why, oh why did I ever agree to this? I'll lose my shirt again. Curse it! Why did I even start this game? This'll be the one. Now I'm for the job. Should I? Shouldn't I? No, I daren't. Use your head, man. You'll lose everything. Use your head, man. You'll lose everything. Ah, it's not so bad after all. Your turn. Ah, come on. It's time I had a throw. We'll see. Now I'm for the job. Finished. If I was in your shoes, I'd pass while the going's good. Good game. You deserve it. I've had enough.
You said you wouldn't drink today.
Silence. I'm going to sleep. Here's a few coins. Have fun. Tomorrow,
1 ale, please.
We're going to the monastery. Is that clear?
Couldn't you give me more? This isn't even enough for a toothless one.
It's enough for beer. Good start.
One ale, please.
Manfred's taken care of, just as you wanted.
Thank God. He won't let me out of his sight for a second, and he's itching to get me in the monastery so he can head back home.
Why are you being sent to the monastery?
Like every lusty young lad, I'm fond of fair maidens, but I got too fond of one, and let's just say she was, indisposed for 9 months.
But they don't send you to the monastery for that.
They do, when it's the daughter of the Lord of your feet.
Shit.
Shit is putting it mildly. The Lord of Bookover was less than pleased. He knows he'll never marry off his daughter now, so he gave father a choice. Either pay him 1,000 groschen in compensation, along with my balls on a silver platter, or pay 1,000 groschen and put me away somewhere no one will ever see me again.
Why does your guardian never leave your side?
So I don't run away. Of course, I'm free to walk around, but he watches every step I take and won't stop until I'm behind the monastery walls.
Well, he's not watching you now.
What good is that to me when he has all the money, and even my saddle and riding cloak under lock and key?
What if I entered the monastery instead of you?
What? Voluntarily? You don't look like someone who'd want to spend the rest of his days on his knees praying. Well, that's your problem. You can only enter the monastery if you know how to read and write, and if you have a special writ from the abbot. That's a letter confirming they know who you are and that they've accepted you.
So you give me your writ? I'll just tell them I'm you.
Manfred has the writ. You'd have to take it from him, but he only puts it down when he sleeps.
So I'll steal it and then you can disappear.
Disappear? Fair asked. What the hell would I do? I don't know how to work, I have no money, and that old bastard's even taken my cloak. He has me in the palm of his hand.
But there are poor people everywhere and they get by somehow.
If I have to choose between hunger and poverty on one hand and the monastic life on the other, I'm afraid the monastery wins. If I could only steal that old man's pouch, I'd be gone faster than lightning and no one would ever see me again.
Why don't you just run away?
Fair asked. What the hell would I do? I don't know how to work, I have no money, and that old bastard's even taken my cloak. He has me in the palm of his hand.
But there are poor people everywhere and they get by somehow.
If I have to choose between hunger and poverty on one hand and the monastic life on the other, I'm afraid the monastery wins. If I could only steal that old man's pouch, I'd be gone faster than lightning and no one would ever see me again.
That's all then.
Farewell.
Yeah.
I'm Carl. I'm supposed to enter as a novice.
We expected you sooner. Weren't you supposed to come here with your guardian? It's been so hectic lately, people will keep turning up out of the blue.
He gave me the papers and left me at the gate. You must be used to that, though. I'm not the first novice here, am I?
But that wasn't very considerate of him, was it? It's been so hectic here lately, novices arriving one after the other. The last one didn't even have a letter, and you'd think his backside was on fire, the way he kept looking over his shoulder.
You took him without the letter? You didn't find that suspicious?
My guess is he wanted to hide from someone, but he's a priest and knows how things work in the monastery. So there was nothing to prevent him from being accepted, at least temporarily. You're a different case, though. Are you able to read?
Naturally. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
So then, are you ready to enter the Order of Saint Benedict and renounce forever the temptations of this world?
I am.
Then you must rid yourself of all your worldly possessions. Sell them or give them to the poor and needy or donate them to the monastery. You may not enter this place burdened by worldly goods. Inside the gatehouse is a trunk in which you will find monk's robes. Put away all your possessions and dress yourself in the habit. Then you may rest a while I go and see the prior to arrange matters for your acceptance. Take care now.
Strange feeling being without all of that. I didn't realise how much I'd grown used to it.
Everything's prepared. It's time for you to take your vows.
Do I really have to wear this?
You'd better get used to it. You'll be wearing it for the rest of your life.
Brothers in Christ, we have gathered here today to welcome a new novice into our midst. Dear brother, forget your former life and embrace your new vocation in the community of the monks of St. Benedict. Opus Dei, and endurance of all Bria, the service of God, obedience, and endurance of all discomfort. These are the cornerstones and succor of our order, which on this day shall become your own. Suscipe me, Domine, secundum eloquium tuum, et vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Suscipe me, Domine, secundum in loquium tuum vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Accept your new name, Brother Gregor, and wear it with honor. Welcome, brother.
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach you fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
Being here in the monastery is my dream come true. Being a monk is so exciting.
Well, no one's ever said that before. I'm curious if you'll still be singing the same tune in a month's time.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education. Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Let's go then.
Good. But before we do, here's a letter directly from the prior telling you all your regular duties from tomorrow onwards. Make sure to read it this evening, so you know how things work. Right, we can go now. Follow me closely. I'll explain everything as we go. Remember one word: discipline. It's your job to work and pray. You serve the Lord now, not your own bodily needs.
Praise be to our Lord.
This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? To appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to. And meditation. Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night. punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware. Come now, I don't want to still be showing you around at midnight. Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work. As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren. And above us monks are the prior and the cicadas, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict.
The Rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitous.
Come now, I don't want to still be showing you around at midnight.
The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You too will learn how.
Don't even look at that cabinet. It can... What troubles you?
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. But I've no time for idle chat. I transcribe books from dawn till dusk. I've been doing it for years, and I'll be doing it till the day I die.
What, you do nothing else?
It is my penance and my blessing. And now, brother, if you don't mind, I'd like to get this page finished. Contains forbidden Ugh. Leave me be. I want to sleep. Ah. Oh.
Huh?
Why are you waking me?
Go away. Oh,
Leave me be.
eh? No.
Ah, leave me be. I want to sleep.
No. Huh?
Ah, why are you waking me? Go away.
What troubles you?
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book.
The words mean nothing to me. Ask in the library.
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
Oh, nothing really, come to think of it.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Abbot Peter is the administrator of the monastery, but you won't see him. He's always traveling, and on top of that, he's old and infirm. Perhaps the good Lord will bless him with many more years of life.
And what happens when the old abbot dies?
Then we elect a new one.
Are there any candidates to be the new abbot?
Yes, there are. Brothers John and Nevlas. Cursed elections. Since the brothers began talking about them, there's only been strife in the monastery. On one side are brothers who'd like to see John as abbot, on the other those who support Nevlas, and they seem to be capable of fighting about it forever.
Tell me about John.
John is a circator, and the oldest brother here. It would be only natural if he took the crosier from Peter. He has experience, merit, and composure.
I'd like to know about Nevlas.
Nevlas manages the monastery's property. He doesn't have the most experience, but his drive and heart are pure, his faith firm, and his ideas rational.
Why does it matter so much who wins?
Because the future direction of the monastery hangs in the balance. The younger brothers feel they have to work more than their superior brothers, and that some brothers are more concerned with their own comfort than with worshipping God. The older brothers take a different view. They say the younger monks want privileges they haven't earned, and each side has its own candidate.
I thought politics weren't part of the monastic way of life.
You're right. But we know nothing besides the monastery, and the abbot's decisions can influence our entire life. Some of the brothers take it very personally.
Are there ever any disagreements between the brothers?
Unfortunately, yes. The biggest quarrels right now are about the election of the new abbot.
Tell me something about electing the abbot.
The old abbot is practically on his deathbed. There are two candidates. Half the monastery wants John.
Tell me something about life.
Prayer, work, obedience.
Can you tell me something about the rule of St. Benedict?
7 centuries ago, Saint Benedict of Nursia wrote, "The fundamental precepts are obedience, work, and prayer. We're fully devoted to serving God."
Do you never want to know what's going on out there?
And what should be going on? The sky is just as blue and the grass is just as green. Perhaps the rulers change, but the greatest ruler of them all will remain unchanged through the ages.
I'm interested in the...
It was founded by Saint Procopius 500 years ago. After his death, heretics occupied the place for some...
Heretics, you say?
They wanted to worship God with some foreign rituals.
What are the roles of the various...
Well, the abbot is the head, but he's not here now. Then there's the prior and the sub-prior, the librarian, the porter. As a novice, you should be particularly mindful of the circuitors. They're the ones who maintain...
What can you tell me about the novices here?
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and live a monastic life.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself? Yodak is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager. Perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is at...
Can you leave them?
Where would you go? You have everything you need here. Anyway, all the doors here are...
Who would you like to be the new abbot?
What kind of question is that? John, of course. Nevlas isn't the kind of candidate you can take seriously.
Who would you like?
But John, there's no other candidate. Nevlas just...
feel quite hungry.
This is not a good time for questions, brother.
This is not a good time for questions.
Not now, brother. After Mass.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get...
I'd like to know something about the other novices. Tell me about Antonia.
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never...
Will you tell me something about...
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that's...
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is...
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walk through the monastery gate.
There's something I should tell you. Something secret.
You're looking for someone? But you're a novice, aren't you?
I am a novice. At least until I find the man I'm looking for.
Why would you be looking amongst monks? You know, the laws of man aren't valid here.
I'm looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery. He had a hand in raising the Neuhoff farm. He's taken many lives.
I heard something about that, but...
Because you could help me. It has to be one of the other novices.
That can't be. Have you told the prior? What are you going to do to this man?
Talk to him. Then I'll see. Do you have any idea which of the novices could be the imposter I'm looking for?
I don't know, and I don't care to know. I wish you'd never told me. Now I won't be able to sleep at night.
If you could, who would you vote for to be...
But I can't vote, so what's the point of worry? Ask Antonius.
This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, the glory
Praise
of
be
hell,
to our Lord Jesus.
as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until Callus when they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence. Or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
I'd like to ask, are there ever any disagreements between the brothers?
Unfortunately, yes.
Tell me something about it.
The old abbot is practically on his deathbed. There are two candidates. Half the monastery wants John, the other half Nevlas. But there's no chance they'll come to an agreement. But you've probably already noticed the atmosphere around here.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his...
Who would you like to be the new abbot?
John, definitely. Compared to him, Nevlas is young and inexperienced. John has the wisdom of age, and he already has the respect that Nevlas will have to earn.
Commandments and words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called.
Talk to me,
Know
brother.
that to whom more is committed. From him
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
let him make no distinction of persons in the
Who would you like to be the new
Let
abbot?
him not love one more than
Brother
another,
Nevlas,
unless
there are
he
many
one
things wrong here,
finds better
and John would leave them as they are.
and let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. remembering the fate of Heli, priest of Sidon, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, that who corrected the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments, knowing that it is written, "The fool is not corrected with words." And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command and cannot suffer any delay. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God only if what is commanded.
My name's Gregor, and
you can call me Siskin. Now, are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although it's not important. Welcome to purgatory.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough. Soon enough.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, a lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me, in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice, the monastery or nothing. If it had come to that after my father's death, so be it. But to get rid of me while he's still alive...
They must have realised you robbed them.
I donated some of the silver to the monastery when I came in, just to piss them off. I can just see my my siblings, arguing with the abbot to give it back.
And you stashed away the remainder?
Indeed so.
What's your plan with this treasure?
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit, and then I'll take the silver and run off somewhere, far, far away from here.
The rule of Saint Benedict.
That's all I wanted to know.
Please, keep it to yourself, especially the part about the coin.
I'm still curious about this treasure trove of yours.
It's no big, terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise. I mean...
What kind of a book is it?
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that who knows what it means. I tried to count the syllables, read the words backward.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone...
Prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited.
If it wasn't harmful, it wouldn't be forbidden?
That's a rather limited view of the world. Some write about the saints, others about demons. And an educated person should know both. Pity I can't. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble.
Knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of...
Actually, I don't care. God save.
That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine...
Who would you elect, Abbot, if you could?
Most likely Nevlas. He's a fine fellow and he seems honest. But the monastery will still be a monastery, no matter who's in.
There's something I should tell you. Something you won't be happy to hear. I'm here to find someone, and, well, to do away with him. But listen, it's not murder. Not when it's a man like him. He's one of the brigands who burned down Noy.
What's he doing here? And who are you?
They call him Pius because he used to be a priest. When he found out a lot of people were after him, he hid away here. And as you can see, escaped suspicion. They sent me here to find him and bring him to justice.
So we have one outlaw and one assassin in our midst. This place is a lot more exciting than I expected. Do you know who it is?
It could be you.
What on earth makes you think that? My being unfit for holy orders doesn't make me a...
For now, you're the prime suspect.
That can't be true.
Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Isn't that so?
Are you some kind of lunatic, Gregor?
When anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples...
Get out of my sight, you rat!
That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy.
Greetings, brother.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
Can you tell me something?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk.
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
Who would you vote?
Why do you care? We don't have the right...
I'm just interested, that's all.
Oh.
I'd like to ask you something.
I like John better. But like I've said, it's not our place to get involved.
I'd like to ask you something. What are the roles of the various monks?
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden, the abbot. But it's the CptPelotas you should worry about. They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid...
Tell me something about life.
Work, prayer, work, prayer. As if you didn't know.
Are there...
Yes. From the moment talk began about electing a new abbot.
Who's in charge of...
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially Abbot Peter. And...
Are there already candidates?
Brothers John and Nevlas.
Why can't novice...
They say we don't have enough experience to decide about...
Why is who win?
We're young and we'll spend the rest of our lives here. And the abbot decides everything about our lives. Didn't it ever occur to you how...
I've heard some unsettling news.
I've been told you've lied about who you are the entire time you've been here. What do you have to say about it? Who are you really?
It's true that I'm not who I say I am. I'm not the young Lord Carl. He ran away and sent me in his place.
Why would you agree to that?
Money. I was drowning in debt, and the money from Sir Carl helped my family stay afloat. Carl never wanted to become a monk, but Father, I found peace here in the monastery. It's better for me to serve God here than continue my life of sin in the world outside.
Thank you for your honesty. Because you've told the truth, I'll forgive you for deceiving us. Continue to be an exemplary monk, and I promise I'll forget about what's happened. Well, unless someone from Sir Carl's family intervenes, then I'll have no choice. I'll have to deal with the situation.
Thank you for your kindness, brother. I'm a new brother, a novice, Gregor.
Welcome amongst us. Yes, yes. The Lord wanted me to take over the abbot's duties in his absence, but mainly I'm a servant of... How do you like it here?
It's wonderful here.
I'm glad to hear it. May your enthusiasm...
I'd like to ask you something. Who's in charge of things?
Abbot Peter is the administrator of the monastery, but you won't...
And what happens when the old abbot dies?
Then we elect a new one.
Will you tell me something about how the abbot is elected?
Of course. Abbot Peter is old, and we're afraid he'll soon be with our Heavenly Father. When he's gone...
Anyone can become the abbot.
Precisely. We have two candidates, Nevlas and John. As the spiritual shepherd of all... I know that some brothers have already begun scheming, but don't even think about Get
out of my sight, you rat!
Ah, Gregor. Talk... I'm no priest, but tell me what you've done. It's probably nothing to worry.
I'm here in the monastery looking for a thief. He had a hand in burning down the Neuhof.
You don't say. And who are you to...
Someone whose job it is to investigate the case, find the perpetrators and make sure they get the punishment they deserve.
Punishment? Do you intend to punish them here?
I don't know yet. I'm still just on their trail. Perhaps...
The missing thief? If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently...
I know. Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still, I don't know which one he could be.
3? Please, leave me out of it. And you're right that it could be any one of them. No one knows anything about Lukas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And Yodok is a slimy worm. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous...
Maybe you're right. It's not a pretty thought. Thanks for your help, and please don't say a word to anyone.
Don't fret, my friend. Your secrets are...
It occurred to me you might be the man to ask.
Lockpicks? You surprise me, brother. And you...
Who would you choose as it?
Why should I even think about that when I don't have the right to vote?
Talk to me, bro.
I'm interested in the other... What can you tell me about...
Well, he's always got a smile on the new friend. But I reckon he don't belong in the monastery. He spends more time dreaming of the world outside than tending to his duties. I'm surprised he hasn't been thrown out already.
What can you tell me
I'm surprised.
Sounds like you don't have much time for it.
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. Believe me, Gregor. He's hiding something from us. In fact, now I come to think of it, I haven't seen him at morning.
Do you know anything about...
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is alright. You can rely on him. He's always happy to help, which is more...
I'm interested in Luke.
Nobody knows much about Lucas. He keeps himself to himself. If you ask me, he's got something to...
Do you have any grounds for suspecting him of...
Quite a lot. And also none at all. The circuitous who make the rounds despise him.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Well, that's all. I'd like to know something...
I don't know much.
What can you tell me about...
Not a lot. I don't know him. Actually, I don't know much about him at all. Except that he's not...
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to...
Will you tell me something?
There's nothing I
mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that's...
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Luca.
You see, I'm looking for someone here.
You're looking for someone? But you're a novice.
I am a novice. At least until I've...
Why would you be looking amongst monks? You know, the laws of man aren't valid here.
I'm looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery. He had a hand in raising the Neuhoff farm.
I heard something about that, but...
Because you could help me. It has to be one of the other...
That can't be. Have you told the prior?
I don't know yet.
It won't be easy to drag this criminal away from the protection of the cloister. Unless...
Do you have any idea which of the novices could be the imposter I'm looking for?
I don't know, and I don't care to know. I wish you'd never told me. Now I won't be...
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Are there any...
Yes. From the moment talk...
Tell me something about it.
Abbot Peter is old. When he dies, they'll have to select a new abbot from amongst the brethren. The candidates are John and Nevlis, and if you ask me for my opinion, Nevlis is definitely the right man.
Well, that's all.
Brother? What are you doing here?
I had other affairs that needed to be attended to immediately. It will never happen again.
Really? I'll pretend...
I'm Gregor and I'm new here.
I know.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rules, does their work.
And when it's not the way it should...
Then we're authorized to mete out punishment. But certainly...
I'd like to ask you something. About you and the...
Ask me anything you want.
Tell me something about Nevlis.
Nevlis is weak and toothless. He's full of hot hair. How anyone could think he'd make it...
I'd like to know what's going on.
Well, the young brothers feel they don't have the same rights and responsibilities as we... Nevlis is lying when he says he wants to right wrongs. All he cares about is benefit.
I'd like to help you if I...
I'm convinced Nevlis must have done something that would greatly damage him if everyone found out. If he was preaching water and drinking wine free...
So I should dig something up?
Exactly. But I doubt you'll have any luck. Nevlis is too cunning and...
Once I find something out, I'll... Thank you for answering. What did you want me...
Dig up some dirt on Nevlus and tell me about it.